First United Methodist Church in McPherson, Kansas hosts circles. We have an office here. We take over the church on Thursday nights. What you'll see is that most families come in and they're just hopeless. They feel hopeless. They don't think things are going to change. I see two types of families. People that are running as fast as they can and they are not getting anywhere and they're exhausted, or people that have just given up and sat down. I am a single mom from generational poverty. I mean, I was born to a single mother and I was raising 3 kids in poverty. My experience before bumping up against circles was that I'm in survival mode all my life, working really hard but never getting anywhere.
I was raised to think that you have to work. Work is more important than your health. You have to be able to provide. And that's something that I wasn't doing. So I was down on myself, totally down. And thinking, I'm worthless. If I can't work and provide, what's the point?
As I look at Tracy, he's not a generational poverty person, but the one who got in trouble because of a back injury. And so he went from middle class to poverty because of his injury and not being able to work.
In 2014, I fell down the porch. It was probably 3 steps and got rushed to the emergency room and talked to my doctor, and he's like, I don't think you should be working anymore. And I'm like, well, are you going to pay my bills, I mean, how am I supposed to do that, not work? I know from personal experience that those prescription drugs are highly addictive, and it's easy to get addicted to them. I moved in with a friend, and she told me she heard from somebody else about circles. If you go to this class, you'll get $200. And so I'm like, sign me up.
Families living in poverty engage with circles, and they start out with a 12-week class or a little bit longer in some sites to do circle leader training. And so in that training, a family who's experiencing poverty kind of learns about some of the causes of poverty, that poverty is also something that societies and communities need to take ownership of. It's not just solely the individual's issue. How can we all work together to solve it? And the biggest thing that happens for the families is right away they start to experience hope.
Just want to let you know that I'm looking for work, but this way I'm going to do it over the phone instead of in person.
A person graduates and then they make a commitment for 18 months to 5 years to get out of poverty permanently, and they do that through goal setting. And at that time when they graduate, they are then called a circle leader. Once they graduate and they make the commitment to stay on for the long haul, they are matched with allies. Allies are not mentors. They don't tell families what to do. They're not responsible for families. They're just intentional friends.
Well, when they match circle leaders and allies, they have both sides write kind of a story or their history of where they've been. And so that gave us a little idea of Tracy's background and where he grew up. He was kind of lonesome without a work. The other ally, Jay Gearing from Moundridge, we'd come here and we'd have coffee with him at a place in McPherson, and maybe for an hour or so. And so you just become friends.
Tracy came with someone he was staying with at the time that was giving him shelter. So for the first 6 weeks he was here, he just kept his head down in class, didn't really respond, didn't plug in. And then you could just see a light bulb went off, and all of a sudden he was engaged and his transformation had started.
Being in circles with Rebecca and Brenda and Nisha, and they were there for me. Always being able to talk to me and saying, there's more to it than just feeling sorry for yourself. We got to get you back up and, get you working.
And so getting to know people and spending time with them, the dots start to connect.
Some days are harder than most. I can't find the words I lost. Even so, I still have my hope.
Well, our circles coach here is something else, Rebecca Lewis. She's was one of the early ones through the program, and she's helped so many. A lot of them would say, well, I would quit, but Rebecca keeps getting us to come, and after about the third, fourth meeting, they see the light, and then most of them say they see the relationship part and hope. You start hearing the word, those two words come out in all of them, relationships and hope, long before they get out of poverty.
Come on. You ready to go home or what?
Some days are hard.